Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is a breathwork facilitator and man of the world, Javier Moyano. Thank you for being back here with me today.
Thank you for having me back so soon. I'm so happy to be back here with you.
It's always a great time, and I know you have a lot of insight to offer, so let's get right into it. Today, the topic that we decided to discuss is viewing life as everything is a miracle and the benefits of it and what it can truly do for you. And to get this rolling, do you want to share or do you want me to share why this topic came to light today?
I could share. We can do it together. I'll just
Okay,
start
go.
off,
If you
right?
remember, you guys, we were driving here and we're like, what was that quote? And you know, something hits and you get the concept, but you don't know word for word.
Yeah.
So do you want to try?
I'll try, yeah. So the quote that we're stemming this podcast episode is based off a quote from Albert Einstein, which goes something around the ways like, there's two ways to live your life. One as though you see everything as a miracle. One as though as you don't, basically. I know there's a better way of saying it, but that's how he said it.
But yeah, you pretty much got it. I think actually I wrote it down so we can get you guys a clear definition or description. The quote was, there are only two ways to view your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. And let's get into it then. What is your choice if there's only two ways to view the world? Let alone, I think there's an in-between, which is where I feel like I reside, probably more towards the miracle side. But which way do you view it and why?
I think I've always operated more on the side of viewing everything as a miracle.
Always.
Oh, mostly. I'd say like 95% on that side.
Okay, good for you. I definitely have not, but good for you.
I don't know why. I think it just stems from a very young age. I just from like what I was intaking through media and stuff like that. I always like to watch like superhero stuff and how the character would always like overcome like these hard times, but he would always find like lessons and through the hard times. So I was like, oh, this is me. This is how I want to operate through my life. So I would literally take on the persona of these anime characters or whatever show I was watching at the time. And I feel like that's just how I've been operating since then.
Yeah, trying to find the good and the bad in a sense. I get that. I would say now, and I do feel like I'm pretty self-examined and aware, but I do think that there's like the one thing that's been consistent is the more I know, the less I know, the more I think I've reached a level, like a few months later, a year later, I've reached a whole different one, which I think is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely now, I can't tell you how many moments I'll pause. And it's so weird because I actually, you guys, I've done drugs in my life. I'll admit it. And I'll actually feel like I'm on drugs in certain moments. Like there'll be a time where I'm just like walking around and I look at the stars, not the stars, but like I'll look at the sun, I'll look at plants and it's so vibrant and beautiful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so amazing. And I'm just grateful for the little things. And even once again, I know how to find the good and the bad now and believe that everything's working for me. And that's what I perceive miracles to be, is just realizing how fucking amazing absolutely everything is and how it's so cool that we're even here existing. The fact that like our heart beats for us and we don't have to think about it. Our lungs oxygenate the blood in our body and we don't have to think about it. The fact that we're even here on this earth when, to be honest with you, it seems like we are not like normal mammals to withstand the environment. I think it's just so cool. Like it's literally a miracle that we're fucking here. Have I always had this perspective? Hell no. I'm sure I've mentioned it multiple times in the past that old Christina, like dead ass, prayed to the devil, thought everything was like dark and gloomy and there was no way out of things. And yeah, I just didn't, I don't know. I don't think also I was aware enough to see the beauty in things. I do think that it takes awareness. So now that I kind of described my idea of what miracles are, right?
That was really good.
Yeah, thank you. I try. What's your version of seeing everything as a miracle?
Okay, I think before I go into this, I do want to say how this quote actually got to us in the first place.
Yeah, please.
You might have saw it beforehand, but
I have, yeah. It's my elevator. So.
Yeah. So the first time that I saw this quote actually was in her elevator to her apartment building, and it just right away when I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, this resonates so much. I took a photo of it. And it's funny, that was the last time, like before we did the last podcast. That's when I first noticed it, but I forgot that I noticed it. And then when I went back home, I saw it like 2 more times just randomly. I think my best friend sent me a message with that direct quote. And I had like a whole like conversation / argument with my 2 best friends about it and see like how they view it. And one friend is like more on the miracle side, and then the other friend is more on like nothing is a miracle. Like he's like, like he doesn't like to see the magic. And I was like, oh, I'm fighting for this. I need to switch to the other side.
I'm fighting for this.
So yeah, it's just funny how like that stuck in my head, like in my subconscious, I guess. And then I picked it up again 2 more times randomly throughout this, last month since I seen you. And so yeah, I love how it just started from your elevator, and now we're actually speaking about it on your episode of the podcast. So I think that's great.
It's a miracle, baby. But no, that's what I think is so cool. And I do think I've said this multiple times. I do think there's 2 sides to the coin. Yeah. I do believe that if you're going to look for signs, they're out there. Like by all means, you can find a meaning in absolutely everything. We've had this conversation this morning, actually, where you can find meaning in absolutely everything. But once again, like it's kind of, if you don't want to see it, you're not going to see it.
Right.
And it's a conscious choice then. For me, at least, I'm like, I don't care what anybody else does. Do I think that they should view the world this way? Yeah, because it's made my life a lot more happier and more peaceful and optimistic. But if you don't want to view the world that everything's a miracle and that there's signs pointing in the right direction, fine, by all means. But like, I choose to see the world as being like miraculous, and I choose to think that everything's working in my favor. And why the fuck not? If everything's a sign for you to do good, as long as it's to do good. Yeah, I'll see all the signs and convince myself that I'm on the right path because I think that I am. And if that's going to help you get through the day, why not? You know?
Yes.
So why do you think then? Because a point I kind of want to make is I do feel like viewing everything as a miracle is kind of a fantasy, in quotations fantasy, right? And it's easier for us as children to view things as miracles. We think everything's a miracle. We think everything is so cool. You ask a child to like view a crayon and put it on paper. They're like, oh my gosh, it's a magical pen. You know, where do you think we lose looking at everything for the spark that it actually has?
I think a big part of it is definitely just like our schooling system in a way, because it kind of goes into specifics about everything. Like it doesn't just allow things to be what they are. Like you just go, once you enter school systems, like I feel like they show you like, oh, this is the reason why, and this is the reason this happens. So there's so much more to it, which is great. I think that's obviously a part of, it's good to have this knowledge. But sometimes I feel like when you're too analytical about things, it doesn't allow you to just see the magic and special of the moment or what it is. Like say right now we're on the podcast, right? And what we're talking about, like a lot of people will receive it well, but then there's some people who actually know us and like know what we've done in the past. And like, they're like, oh, why is this guy saying this? Because I know that in the past he's done this. So like, you know,
those
like,
people know my past self though, not my current self.
Exactly.
So that's okay.
But they have this perception of us.
Yeah.
And again, like so that's an example I'm trying to give is that, so people who don't know us, I think they will be able to receive this more or receive this in a different way than somebody who does know us because they have like all the background information on us.
Well, essentially then it's just pretty much like you're saying, your programming and what you've seen consistently in the past is what takes you out of the present moment and seeing things for what it is. It's your judgment and your idea from previous experiences of how they should be now.
Right.
Yeah. So I get that. So you think in a sense, overthinking is oftentimes what kills miracles.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a big part.
I do think that's it. I do think that, and let alone, once again, there's amazing growth and knowledge is essential to us being human and growing as humans and like expanding who we are and honestly accomplishing anything. Like, yes, you should be knowledgeable, but I do think that we go about learning things in the wrong way. Sometimes I think we're always taught to look for more and more and more. And that's why nothing's good enough. We can't be content. Is something that I think might take away from it. But I do think it's a lot of like programming. I do think it's taking us out of like a natural state to always like work on autopilot. It's really hard to, I feel like, notice the magic when you're constantly like in survival mode because you don't see the magic because you're just worried about surviving. And I feel like a lot of us now, our nervous systems are a wreck and we're surviving, to be honest with you. Even though I did hear somebody say, thankfully, like, you do know once you're safe, you can tell your body it's safe and you can get over all the whole like wellness bullshit and just exist instead of thinking you're broken.
Right.
And I do think that's it. I think we're just programmed to always think something's wrong with us or something has to go deeper instead of just being like, hey, you're okay. Enjoy the moment. And when you're actually in the moment and you look around, you're like, holy fuck. You know? So next question would kind of be is, since I think there's a lot of other reasons why we stop seeing the magic and stuff, but how have you got it back in your own life? And why do you think it's important?
That's a really good question. Okay. How I got it back in my own life. I'd say, so I've always operated from a place where I trust my intuition very strongly. And that always allowed me to...
You've always operated from a place of that.
Of that, yeah.
Has your intuition ever guided you wrong?
No, but I stopped listening to it.
Okay.
And then that's when I...
So there you go, though. So you haven't always listened to it.
Okay, so for most of my life, I have. But there has been a time, like, especially when I joined the Navy, like 5 years ago, I think that's like when I started splitting more from trusting my intuition and going more analytical. But I see that as a purpose. Like, it definitely served me because I needed to realize that even though your intuition brings you there, you have to learn how to analyze as well. Like, once you're there, like prepare and know when to like move on from where you're at, wherever you're at. So I'll just go into like how it's working with me today and how so I want to bring you guys back to, I'd say like soon after I came here back from Costa Rica, when I went back down to San Diego, I was looking for a place to go work and teach my classes, my Wim Hof, like breathwork classes, cacao ceremonies. And I moved into this new town called Carlsbad. And I saw this yoga studio. My intuition was telling me, all right, Javi, get your ass in there and like just get involved with the community. Go and do it. I was like, okay, let's go. So I'm walking by one morning after getting a coffee and I see the owner outside of it. And he's in like in a meditative state. And I just walk in. I'm like, I guess it was like a little overwhelming. Like I kind of just like took him out of a meditative state. Yeah. But this is where I was saying my intuition was telling me like, just go do it. Javi, get in there. I was like, okay. All right. So I went in and I talked to him. I was just telling him what I have to offer and how I would like to get involved and use your studio and stuff like that. And it's funny, we did not have a great first meeting though.
How'd that meeting go?
You could tell that he was very like one-worded with me. He was like, oh yeah, short. Yeah, very short. Like he wasn't getting deep. And he's like, yeah, if you want to use a space, like just reach out to us. It's this much amount of money and thank you. And he kind of just telling me on my own way. But at the time, I didn't really realize it. I was like just so excited to share what I have. So I'm like, okay, Javi, message this guy. Let's go. Let's get involved. And that's when I started recognizing like where he was being short with me. He was kind of, I'm not so much like attached to my ego. Like I don't operate from the ego as much anymore. So I recognized like he was trying to get a reaction out of me through some of the messages. He was just being very reflective, like straightforward. He's like, like I see you as a guy who just is trying to make a quick buck. Like your intention doesn't seem...
That's what he perceived you as just from like the get-go?
From the get-go. He's like, your intentions kind of seem... I can't trust your intention, so I can't help you out. You can still use the place, but the way you came off was very like, I guess overwhelming. And I could see where like an old Javi or like the Javi that was operating while he was in the military would have reacted like in a more egotistic way.
Easily. You might be like, what the fuck, who are you to judge me?
Right.
Yeah, facts.
But then I just saw it again. Like this is where I was like, oh no, Javi, this is a fucking beautiful reflection. What can I learn from this? This is like a lesson, like, because I haven't been challenged like this in so long.
So you viewed him being negative to you as a mini miracle.
As a miracle.
Okay, I love that.
And I was like, oh, this is a beautiful challenge. And then like when we had like one of the greatest conversations I've had probably through text in years. And I think I surprised him with my responses. I'm like, oh, thank you like for allowing me to take a step back and recognize how I was coming off. I know not everybody's going to receive my energy the same way. And so like, just thank you for being so straightforward with me and being honest and brutally honest. And so we finished talking. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take one of your yoga classes and then we could talk in person. And he thought I wasn't going to show up, and I showed up the next day.
Why is okay? Let alone, I know a lot of people are like this. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, why is this man assuming things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
see, guys, life surprises you every freaking day. Yes. I gotta stop swearing lately, you guys. Life surprises you every day.
It's the excitement. Okay.
Yes, it is. Continue.
So yeah, I go to his yoga class, and it was one of the best yoga classes I've ever done in my life, actually. Which happily I went to, and I'm actually gonna take his 200-hour yoga certification class as well. But so after we talked for a little bit, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, you showing up today showed a lot of humility. So I I recognize like your energy now, and I recognize where you're coming from is actually from a good place. You just, and then we had this deep ass conversation. And he's like, I think you need to learn how to enter and exit things. And I was like, what do you mean? And this is like where I was going with the whole intuition thing.
Yeah.
My intuition is always bringing me to the point, but I do not prepare myself to like enter. Like I don't really do any background like information or just prepare myself. Usually I just
always just jump in.
I
remember you mentioning this to me. You always jump in, and you now recognize that you need to find a way to enter it in a receiving way as well leave as in an intentional way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's funny. And
that all came from a random interaction.
And I'm like, oh, there's definitely something here. If this is causing this like emotion and like it's not triggering me, but it's like, I'm like, oh, this is something here. This is something good. I know there's something good out of this. However, you just gotta accept the challenge and see what you can learn from it. And I was like, yes. Whew. And now we have like this genuine trust with each other now, which is amazing.
That is amazing. See, I really like how you took this twist on it, and I was not expecting you to go there, to be completely honest with you. The one thing that popped in my brain is something that I've told myself a lot recently is how blessed am I that life can surprise me at any moment. You know what I mean? And that I think is being able to see the miracle in anything, that like at any second life can change like this. Some people might see that as scary and fearful, and it might prevent them from doing things, but I see it as like an opportunity for me to be pleasantly surprised for like something amazing to happen to me over any corner. And I do like how you use your intuition to describe things as miracles, because a lot of times though, like when you do listen to yourself, it will put you in situations that will bring insight. It'll bring you what you need, and it'll put you in the spot to see like, oh shit, things are working for me, not against me. I am such a firm believer that when you are true to who you are and you move forward with intention and you don't hinder like whatever life is trying to bring your way, is when you do start to see the miracles more. But it's like funny, because when you do fight things and you do have a negative outlook and you're not true to yourself, that is when you start to see things in a negative light, because you feel like you can't express yourself and you feel like you're not moving forward with intention. So no shit, you don't see the miracles coming. No shit, you don't see things as miraculous. It's because you're not actually allowing yourself to live. So I really like how you brought that up, because I wasn't expecting you to say that. I see miracles by listening to my intuition, because it seems like that's actually very, very profound. To be honest with you, I was going to be like, I see miracles just by choosing to see miracles in the little shit. I see steam rising off of my cup of coffee in the morning, and I'm like, oh, that is really, really pretty, actually. You know what I mean? Miracle, no, for sure. Yeah. I think that's the thing, is like, I want to have my way of seeing miracles. And I think that really resonates, because I think me realizing how cool life is and how things can happen at any second is when I did start listening to myself, is when I allowed things to happen to me, is when I started saying like, oh shit, things are working out in my favor. Yeah. I don't know if I've told you this, but the one time I had an experience, one of the first times was when I was in like my mid-20s. I was just getting out of a really toxic relationship. I was like, I listened, even though I've been with this man for like a long time. A little voice told me to leave, and finally I decided to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like go at home, stay with my mom, no big deal. Yeah. And then even though it went against everything that I'm normally used to doing, right? I'm normally used to just like, we fight, we break up, we get back together. I've been with this man for years, you know? Something just told me, no, this was it. I was like, I'll go back, live home with my mom. Love my mom, don't like her. I didn't really want to go live back at home with my mother in my 20s. And then lo and behold, a week later, my best friend calls me on the phone. She's like, I just found out my husband's cheating. I'm kicking him out. Can you move in? And I was like, what are the chances that my very like actually best friend, my fucking sister, calls me a week later and we both are going through breakups at the same time? Wow. And after that, I'm like, is this a coincidence?
Some divine timing.
Yeah. But then also too, besides that, I don't want people thinking that they have to have some like divine timing, miraculous thing to see the miracle in things, because I do feel like you also have to train yourself naturally to see the miracle in things for you to attract stuff like that, for you to gain the confidence that, hey, things are working out for me. So if people are starting small at home, what would you recommend to starting to see the magic in things? They're not ready to take the big leaps of faith. They're not really ready to listen to their intuition. How do you think they can start just like, because actually when you choose to see the miracle in things, it programs your nervous system to think more positively. And then like where attention goes, energy flows. I'm a firm believer that like, if you see the miracle in everything, when you do have these interactions. Like you see a man sitting outside of a yoga studio, you see an opportunity for you to put yourself in a better circumstance since you believe in the magic, and you'll be able to see the miracles that are actually happening and what life's presenting to you, right? So what are the little things people can do, in your opinion?
I think to start, I have a couple things I would like to say about that.
Please.
But I think to start off is just being curious of why you're not feeling like this emotion that you're favoring, which is like, say that you want to have a good experience and you go see like a sunset, right? But there's something in you that's not allowing you to experience a sunset. And this is bigger. We could start with small things, but instead of like judging that, just be curious. I'm like, okay, why can't I enjoy this at this moment? Like, and this is just like a little thing that you could literally do with everything. Like you're eating something, like, why am I not enjoying this like I usually enjoy this? Like, just start with the little things, be curious about the little things, and then recognize like, wow, everything is kind of a reflection. Like the reason why I'm not enjoying this is because it's trying to show me something. So let's just be curious about it and see it that's like, wow, literally with everything I do, something is being reflecting back to me. So I think a big start is just through the little things, allow yourself to see the lessons within. Like, again, with the food that you have in the morning, you weren't happy about it, the coffee that you drank this morning, and like, it just didn't feel the same. Why? Go into it. Like, just be curious. Okay, there's a reflection here. So basically what I'm trying to say is just trying to see the lessons with the little things, and that would expand into big things when you do it more often. Another one is checking out the Wim Hof method. I'd say that's what got me.
I do say that like breath work will put you in a certain headspace because all honesty, if we're talking about like, is it biology? Is it like neuroscience? It releases dopamine and serotonin. Like breath work actually releases feel good chemicals in your body. And let's be honest, when you feel good, when your body's in a good state, it's a lot easier for you to see the good in everything else around you. It's kind of like one thing follows another, right? Like you start to feel good in your body, and then like the outside starts to look good, and then your life starts to look good. It's like a chain effect for sure. Yes.
It's
definitely a chain effect.
I like that. That was good. She's really good at summing things up. You do that well. Very well.
Do what well?
Just like, because I know when I speak, I go on a quick tangent, and not everybody's going to be able to pick it up right away, but you really are good at picking up like the key parts and just relaying it in such a way that people are able to receive it. So
I received that.
Good
Thank
on
you. I received that. Thank you. I really do appreciate and respect that. And that's my goal, is like, I'm really good at picking things apart. So that's one of the reasons why I do this. Another thing, I'm kind of going to go against you on this.
Let's go.
Even though I agree with it for sure. I do love how you're like, ask why. Because I do believe for things to be sustainable is you have to be aware of yourself. But that also requires you being brutally honest with yourself. And honesty with yourself is one of the most valuable things that you can have, because let's be honest, guys. You're not doing yourself any favors by lying. You're not. You're usually just hiding behind an ego, and you're going to repeat the same toxic cycles over and over again. That being said, a lot of people are not ready to be honest with themselves.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
So I do think that what you are saying requires an additional skill. So that is a skill that you should be learning, is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're not ready to ask yourself why, if you're not ready to actually ask yourself why and realize, holy shit, I am seeing the negative in so many things, and then crush your ego and go through a roller coaster of things, which is what's going to happen, which is fine. It's a good roller coaster. Trust me, you're going to be happy at the end. I do think that just appreciating things for what it is first. You know what I mean? Like, even if your brain is, if you can't ask yourself the why, sit there and still just be like, this is actually really, really beautiful. Or start by noticing how beautiful things are that you already enjoy. If you enjoy something and you know it's going to bring you happiness, ruminate on that. Dig more deeper into that. Because when you focus on the things that are already like programmed in your brain to associate happiness with, you can go a little bit deeper. And once again, you're like then creating a state of existence where if you surround yourself with more things that make you happy, you're going to have a higher vibration. So it'll be easier for you then to address the other things that you might not see so much as blessings or miracles or happiness. Start with the things and surround yourself with more things that make you happy. And then you'll slowly learn also how to see other things, because like attracts like.
Yes.
You know, your brain wants to validate emotions that you have. Your brain wants to validate the state that you naturally are being in. So if you do just try to enjoy your life a little bit more, do more things on a daily basis that make you happy, it's going to try to see that in everything else.
Right.
Also, on that note too, I'm curious of your perspective. How do you think your environment goes into the way that you see the world? Because I know we're going to do a podcast later about environment. I'm curious how you think environment goes into somebody's viewing things as miracles.
Right. I'm actually going to pick up back like from where I started about how like me identifying with these heroes from these
please.
shows. So, you know, my like growing up with my household dynamic, my dad was a really like a little abusive, aggressive, like he was the controller of the whole house and like nobody would stand up to him. And like nobody could because he was so, you know, he's a 220 big man, you know, and we're like my mom and then all 4 kids just like, okay, whatever you say, like we're going to follow. So I think I identified with these characters, like, especially the heroes where they, like, that's why I really started to identify strongly. So like, I'm saying like the environment that I was in was something difficult. And then I was like, oh, these heroes could overcome this like difficulty as well. So why can't I do it?
Yeah.
And it's funny. That's when I started like kind of going against his word. Like I would fight it more often and more just because the show that I was watching. So it's funny because the show is part of my environment, but also the other part of the environment was my dad. So I started, I was like, oh, like I could be a hero just like these guys. So let me take on this persona. And until this day, I'm the only one probably in my like immediate household who has stepped up to him basically. And like, so I kind of took on this hero mentality and it served me so well to this day. And I love it. Now I recognize how it's stemming from, it was like a fear-based belief, but.
What was a fear-based belief?
Me becoming a hero. Like
you becoming a hero was a fear-based belief? I feel like that's unfearful. I feel like that's you believing in something.
Believing in myself, but the reason why I wanted to become the hero in the first place was because I was scared of my dad. So like it stemmed from something.
Yeah,
fear-based.
For sure. But I mean, that's where like, I've had this conversation with a friend recently. It's like, sometimes you have to hit that wall. You guys, sometimes you have to hit that wall and realize like, oh, I'm down bad in order to get up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like going back to before, people might see you as like the old you, but I'm like, that's their own problem. That's not yours. As well as something that I wanted to mention is like, you are the one who chooses your thoughts for the most part. Yes, there's those toxic ones that creep in, but like you have the power to realize, hey, this isn't actually me. This is just the brain doing its thing.
Right.
I also think too that like you get to pick your reality you live in.
Right.
We're both sitting in this podcast studio right now talking, but both of us are having different experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're the one who gets to choose your reality. So choose it wisely. Like you're the one who puts yourself in situations that are either going to feed you or drain you. Put yourself in situations where it's going to make it easy for you to thrive and have a high vibration, a high energy, and like see things as beautiful. I think nature is such a key to that. I don't know why, like for some reason I see green, I see grass. It's been known to actually increase, once again, the feel-good chemicals in your brain.
Right.
So it's another way to increase the aspect of miracle setting in your life is go in environments that are actually going to create that reality for you.
Yeah. I think to make clear what I was trying to say is that, so before, for me to get in this hero character, I had to like go through something difficult or bad. Like I had to be in like a difficult situation. Now, and it's certainly so long in my life, but now I see it as like, okay, I don't need to be this hero. Like I don't need to get into this character just off of a bad situation. I could be in a good situation and still be this hero. So that's where I was trying to get at. Like now I just flip the switch and I'm like, oh, now it's all coming. I could enter this character all the time. It doesn't just have to be from a bad situation. Actually, I prefer it to be from something better, like vibrating at a higher.
Yeah, I prefer to think that I'm a hero at every second of the day and in every moment of my day, regardless if I'm a hero for making this coffee or actually helping somebody. Right. Why not?
Yes.
I do love that. That's my thing, is kind of like, once again, you choose your reality. I'm like, that in that story, you chose to believe. That's the whole thing, is believe. And I know in a world telling you that the world is bad, right? Like you turn on the news, everyone's like, the way the world is right now, the state of it. And I'm just like, you can't listen to what everybody says. If you do your research, from what I've heard, everyone's like, the world's so dangerous. To be honest with you, it wasn't any safer back in the day. We just have so much more information now at our fingertips. It feels like we're constantly being attacked.
Right.
But back in the day, they didn't feel this way because we didn't have TVs that are telling us what's going on in a country that we probably will never, ever go to. I do think it's great we know these things, but hey, you're safe. It's the way that you perceive it. And it's also what you let into your hemisphere of thoughts and beliefs. So to see things more magical and implement a better energy, a better lifestyle, like you thinking that the world is great, is you just have to start believing the world is great and stop listening to what everybody else is saying.
Right.
So if people tell you, and I've heard this so many times, like, you're delusional, you're kind of crazy. I'm just like, this feels so good. You're always so happy. Some people told me there's no way you can be this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and sometimes people are like, you're faking it, you're hiding it. And I'm like, you don't know the context of things that I'm experiencing. There's demons out here. I'm not gonna lie. I am not perfect, you guys, but I've made friends with my demons, and I do choose to see everything as like a miracle. And I'm like, I choose to see the magic in my life. You don't know what's going on in my fucking head. So I'm not gonna listen to you when you say I should view the world this way, because this is how it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do live in my own little world, and I don't want to sound ignorant. I do believe like educate and be aware, but don't feed into the story that everybody is telling you that you should be scared, that you can't live a happy, healthy life and have the life that you want. Don't feed into that, because once again, you create your reality. You choose the beliefs that you want. And I'm sorry, don't put me in your box. I guess we can also relate miracles with like gratitude, to be honest with you. That's something that I feel like they correlate really nice with. But what is something that like you're just like, holy shit, I can't believe this happened? I think, biggest one and smallest one, because we got to appreciate the tiny things.
Right. I think the biggest one for me was definitely just coming back home to a situation that like 2 years ago was like really difficult for me to be in, which is my family home situation. And now coming back and being like, oh my God, like it's a flip switch. Like I love being there. I love being with my family. I love being able to communicate with them and teach them and just be with them. And I know for the last year where I was traveling, the purpose that I went on that journey was so I could like learn how to build boundaries and like come back to this family situation, and I don't have this like intense feeling with them anymore. So I think like being able to operate at a place where, oh my God, it's fully switched. Like I can enjoy my family, and actually I do enjoy it, and I favor this. I just needed to put up boundaries. Yeah. I think that was like definitely one of the biggest miracles. And I know how we were talking about this a little bit before. Yeah. Like you're like, oh, I'm interested to see how things get back when you go back home.
I'm also curious when you like go back to Costa Rica too, how things are going to go.
Oh yeah. I know it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
And in the best way though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that was my biggest miracle. Like
smallest miracle.
Smallest miracle. Taking my morning walks every day.
Ooh, I love a morning walk.
There's so much I get to see and experience in that morning. I feel like, and I out of my whole day of being busy, I remember mostly that morning walk. Like I'm like, because there's not, you're just like being and you're just viewing. Like, you're not really having to do much. Yeah, I'm walking, but like you're just experiencing life itself. So I'm just like, oh, that's definitely.
I love that. I will say, you guys, also, they say that your brain, your thought process is most vulnerable early in the morning and late in the evening. So please be very mindful of what you are consuming in the early morning and late evening, because that can also set you up for success or failure. I would say my biggest blessing is, I don't know, I feel like it's the biggest and the smallest one. Can I combine them both?
Why not?
Because for some reason, like every single day, not every day, most days lately, I've been waking up feeling like I'm on drugs. I'm not going to lie. I've been on cloud 9, and I'm just so grateful to be actually here. Maybe it's because I'm like, once again, in LA. I never thought that like my life would even be this way. The things that are moving in my life in certain ways, I'm just extremely blessed to be here. And once again, to like, I don't know what the next year looks for me, right? Like I'm putting my stuff in storage, traveling, fucking around and finding out. And to me, that's the scariest thing, but the biggest blessing on earth. Hell yeah. And it's like the smallest thing, but the most amazing thing. So I don't know. I'm just really grateful for the circumstances that I have in my life, and grateful, and they're miracles. And I think it's a miracle that you're here sitting, talking to me, Javi, so from special. A beach in Costa Rica to the podcast studio in LA. Oh yeah. I met this man barefoot on a beach with no shirt playing Frisbee. So
yes.
Any day can have miracles. And on that note, too, thank you for being here with me again. And thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, I love you. All right, cool.
Good. That was fire.
Dope.
I need to go cough on my face.
Coughing? Why are you coughing so much?
Because of your house.
Because of my house. What's wrong with my house?
I'm allergic.